not going to be allowed to compete. Let me just say that there's more going on than I'm able to say. We will be there at the Olympia weekend. I'm not allowed to be at the expo and things, but we will be there.
What's up, viewers? Patrick at SpartanSubs.com talking about Kai Greene out of the Mr Olympia competition. Now, this has been the hottest topic in the last few days, the biggest thing in bodybuilding probably this year, with a lot of controversy over what's happened, reasons as to why, a lot of speculation. But I want to go into a few of the reasons probably from behind the scenes and more of the business side of bodybuilding competition and so on. There was a rumor that Kai had requested on the behalf of his new company, Dynamik Muscle, or his management team, to have a free booth space at the Olympia, which would have been probably about maybe $30,000 worth, rounded up, $30,000 worth of booth space for free, or he wouldn't compete. Now, in reality, I think that's ridiculous, because Kai's been prepping for this show for 20 years and dieting for the show for at least probably 5 months, and to risk, he was a shoo-in for at least second place, possibly even the win. So you're looking at a minimum $130,000 US of prize money, and he's going to risk that for $30,000 of booth space. Probably quite unrealistic. The second point noted would be that the politics and the IFBB and so on, they want this guy to compete. They want him to compete. They want the best athletes in the show, and they want to draw consumers. Consumers drive demand for everything, and if they don't see their athletes compete, the athletes they want to see there, they're not going to attend. The attendance levels drop, the tickets drop, people don't buy stuff at the expo, they're not buying the apparel and so on. So I think that's unrealistic. However, probably one of the more likely scenarios, and one that we'll know within the next few days, was we saw recently, we have an article now on SpartanSubs.com about IFBB judge Lee Thompson quitting and cutting ties with the IFBB, who had been a judge for 16 years, and he's starting his own federation. It's called NPC Global, and it is looking to unify bodybuilding, bring athletes from all different federations, from IFBB and NABA, and WFF as well, and bring them all together to compete under one collective organization. Pros will be pros, pro from NABA will be a pro in the new federation, and more importantly, athletes will share in the profits and the revenue generated from the organization, whereas previously they didn't really get paid, like Mr Olympia winner will get $250,000, which relative to the amount of money that's spent, and booth space at the Olympia and so on, is not really very much at all, and it's once a year. So there's a lot more money on the table, and promoters will be making a lot more money than the athletes on this, and doing a lot less of the work. So that could just be the reason why Kai Greene is not competing in the Mr Olympia. I think if he really wanted to compete in Olympia, he could have called Robin Chang and still competed if he really wanted to. However, I think there's a bigger reason behind all of this, much bigger, unrelated to muscle meds in the slightest. I don't think that has any bearing whatsoever, unrelated to management or anything like that. But you will see that I think in the coming days that something to do with new federation and Kai, I don't think it's very much related to Dynamik Muscle. That's going to be big regardless. I don't think that a booth at the Olympia wouldn't make or break that company in the slightest. That's really only going to reach the people that attend the booth, which it's a relatively new company and it's just launched. A booth at the Arnold is really not going to change anything for them. It's not going to change the company's direction. They've got a lot more. Kai's social media presence in a week would outweigh the effect that they're going to have on people at the Olympia on its own. So unrealistically, that's going to happen. However, this new federation is a big curveball, and I think that you'll find that may be the bigger issue behind a lot of what's going on with Kai Greene. But time will tell. Stay tuned to our website and social media, and we'll keep you up to date with everything, all the news on what's happening with the new federation, IFBB, Kai Greene, Dynamik Muscle, and see what happens. Thanks for tuning in. This is Patrick at SpartanSubs.com.